Happy Wednesday afternoon. Happy Wednesday afternoon, everyone. King 5 meteorologist Adam Claibon here with an update on some pretty active weather that we have ahead for the latter part of the work week. We have a first alert weather event stated for that, and then also to talk about some of the interesting weather that we had around earlier this morning and what you can expect here for the afternoon. Let's talk about that first alert weather day, though. We do expect things to start to change as we go later on into tomorrow evening and into Friday. So we are expecting heavy rain and gusty winds, and there could be some mountain snow to go along with that too. Actually, there will be mountain snow. We're going to talk about that. But the main threats, the heavy rain, the gusty winds, and what we're expecting because of that, some urban or river flooding and some spotty power outages to go along with that as well. So what's happening right now outside is that you can tell that we're not seeing a whole lot of anything. We're actually just seeing generally just lighter rain showers. Going to be a wet and soggy evening commute for some, but you can see that is moving through parts of Seattle right now. So we go ahead and take a look over in Tacoma. You can see that conditions pretty wet and soggy there also too here into the afternoon, and some of those showers moving northward right now. Everett, not seeing too much of the rain here as of about 1:30 p.m. But as you go and continue northward up into Bellingham, things look actually gorgeous. There's the sun if you're looking for it. It's farther north. Cool air settling in here as we go on into the night. And yes, we are going to be keeping an eye out for some of those lows tonight to drop into the freezing territory. Let's switch back over to radar, show you how things are shaping up for us right now. We do have a few of those showers that are moving north along the I-5 corridor. Tacoma, you can see some of those showers getting closer here to Seattle. And then the north coast of the Olympic Peninsula finally calming down from what they had earlier into the morning. Crescent right around there, yeah, you can see some rain holding on, but Squim, that's where we had earlier into the day some snow. Yeah, let's switch it on over. This was tweeted out by Jake Wittenberg. Actually got this from a viewer near Squim. This is about an elevation around 1,100 feet, but look at their patio deck. Snow covering it. Now, it's a lighter coating of snow, so nothing too major with that. But DOT was out there earlier this morning, and they were actually doing some plowing of the snow because it was coming down a little heavier along Highway 101. Again, we don't really expect that to be a huge issue as far as lowland snow, but let's go ahead and switch back on over to what we're expecting later on into tomorrow and heading into Friday, because that's where we are expecting some flooding concerns there across Mason County, then also across more areas across King and also heading to Snohomish County. As you can see that the green shaded area, that's where we have flash flood warnings or watches, sorry, because of that. Now at the same time too, we're going to see snow levels dip. So initially when this moisture arrives heading into tomorrow evening, we're going to see some snow break out across the Olympics and across the Cascades before those snow levels come all the way to 6,500 feet on into Friday, and then they start to come crashing back down again by the time we head into the latter part of the weekend. Let's talk about the winds. We'll get into those first. You can see those are going to be picking up as we go into later tomorrow afternoon. So for the time being, today, tonight, into early tomorrow, around 5 to 10, maybe 15 miles per hour. Here we are at 1 p.m. on into Thursday. You start to see those numbers around 10 to 20, 25 miles per hour out closer to the coast, seeing those around 30. Picking up even more so by tomorrow evening. And this is when we start to get into that first alert weather time where we're seeing those gusts upward to about 40, 45 miles per hour. And those numbers keep on increasing, even seeing some gusts closer to 50 at times as we head into late Thursday night, early into Friday morning. You can see the timetable on that right there at about midnight heading into late tomorrow night. And then that will continue on into your Friday, and you can see more wind gusts expected around that 20 to 40 mile per hour range. Pretty uniform here across the region, just some higher peaks from time to time to go along with that, and then still seeing them even as we head into later Friday morning around 30 to 40, perhaps 45 miles per hour. Now, what we expect as far as the rain, not a whole lot here into the rest of today or tonight. That will continue to fade. Late tonight into early tomorrow morning, clear skies leading to some of those overnight lows dropping near the freezing point. And by the time we head into tomorrow afternoon at 3 o'clock, you start to see some of those showers arriving. I think most of that will be light, and then around parts of Central Sound from about Tacoma up to Seattle, maybe Everett. Not a lot of the heavier rain arriving earlier, due in part because of rain shadowing from the Olympics. You'll see that kind of donut hole initially because of that, but there will be snow across the mountains, the Cascades, and the Olympics first because of the colder air that's already in place. But as this system gets more of a handle and a hold on the region, it brings in some of that warmer air off of the Pacific, and that's when we start to see the white showing up over the Olympics right there, getting closer to Hurricane Ridge. That will switch over to all snow, so no more white, but more of those yellows and those reds and those oranges showing up, indicating some pretty heavier rainfall there. But you can see that rain shadowing, keeping some of the heaviest rain from Tacoma, Seattle, and Everett as we go deeper on into Thursday night and into Friday. Initially, that will fill in, but we'll get more of that to take place as we go on into Friday morning as well. And we'll continue on as we head on into Friday evening, eventually seeing that beginning to fill on in. At 6 p.m. you can see the heaviest of the rain beginning to come through at that point. Across the Cascades, snow levels getting high enough that most of what we're going to see, especially around the passes, will be in the form of rain. And by the time we head into more of your early Saturday, well, things starting to wind on down as the system starts to head on out of here and colder air comes in behind that again. Rainfall, at least through the earlier part of this event, we're calling for about maybe a tenth to a quarter to a half an inch, and then those amounts that you see out closer to the coast around 1.5 inches, getting closer to 2 inches. Again, that's only early into Friday morning. Models not completely going out as far yet, but we could see anywhere between maybe 2 to 4 inches out along parts of the coast, and then areas here closer to Puget Sound getting closer to 1 inch in some spots, and then maybe even around 1.5 inches as this moves on by up around Bellingham, seeing that inch to maybe 2 inch mark as we go on into Saturday. And then let's talk about the snow, because a lot of this is going to fall during the earlier part of the storm. So as we go on into tomorrow evening, 4:30, not a whole lot really falling yet, but as we go into the nighttime hours, that's when we start to see that come up, and we'll get closer to maybe a foot initially as the snow comes down. Again, expect it to melt, at least quite a bit of it, with the rain coming in right behind that, and those flooding concerns again up across parts of the foothills of Skagit and more so of Snohomish and King counties, especially with the burn scars around the Bolt Creek fire where we had just recently here over the past few days. So today we do expect highs to be cooler, upper 40s, low 50s, Linden up to 50 degrees. Some of those showers beginning to wind on down. More sunshine farther north than what we're going to see here farther south, but we'll see some pockets of sunshine too. 48 in Bellevue, about 48 in Monroe, 45 in Bremerton. South Sound seeing highs around the upper 40s, mid 40s in Yelm, about 45 in Belfair, and then we'll see those highs out closer to the coast, more so in the 40s as well. Overnight lows tonight dropping down into the 30s. A few spots again could get pretty close to that freezing point. We're going to warm up though as we go into Friday. That's our first alert weather day where we expect most of the impacts to take place. That's when we see the heavy rain move through along with those breezy winds, some gusts closer to 50 miles per hour at times. Things starting to wind on down a bit more as we head into the day on Saturday. But even once we get into Saturday, we are expecting that conditions still to be quite active, especially across the mountains as colder air continues to settle in, and we'll have more systems moving through as we head into that time and into the start of next work week. So snow lovers, you're going to be excited to see what's going to be happening as we head into that time. Skiers and snowboarders too will love to try to see how high that base can get as we head into those days. All right, everyone, that's going to be it for today. We'll give you another update as we go later on into the evening. Take care.
For more local news coverage, live and on demand, watch King 5 Plus. Download free on Roku and Fire TV.